Asylum seekers say joy over the end of the public health restriction known as Title 42. If you've watched our show for the last 6 years, it's all we've talked about, at least if not on every show, every other show, because it ended on May 11th. However, it is turning into anguish with the uncertainty about how the Biden administration's new asylum rules are going to affect each of them individually. Though the U.S. government opened some new avenues for immigration, the fate of many people is largely left to the United States government's CBP, the Customs and Border Patrol One app, and that is to be used by anyone on the Mexican side of the border who is coming to the southern border of the United States trying to apply for asylum. And you use the government's CBP One app to schedule an appointment at a port of entry. However, a lot of people, including myself, are saying that CBP app is really not fair because it is unable to decipher human suffering, weigh the vulnerability of applicants, weigh how good of a case or how harsh of a reality people are living in right now. And it's just basically by luck if you are able to get an appointment. Now, the Department of Homeland Security said the CBP One app is a key tool in creating a more efficient and orderly system at the border while cutting out unscrupulous smugglers who profit from vulnerable migrants. But since its rollout in January of 2023, the app has been criticized besides for technological problems. It's also been criticized because the demand for appointments has far outstripped the roughly 1,000 appointments available each day. And there does not seem to be an option right now for people to ask for asylum if they don't make an appointment through the CBP app. So it is either the CBP app or nothing. And as a result of all of this, there are, as you can imagine, plenty of lawsuits. The Center for Gender and Refugee Studies is one of the lead plaintiffs, along with the American Civil Liberties Union, challenging some of the new rules in federal court in San Francisco, including the circumvention of lawful pathways rule that requires people to first apply for asylum in a country they crossed on the way to the United States. So that rule really means that unless you're a Mexican citizen, you can't apply for asylum if you crossed over the border without inspection. And this lawsuit is asking the court to allow an asylum request by anyone on United States soil. Texas Republican lawmakers have also sued. Among other things, they argue that the CBP One app encourages illegal immigration by dispensing appointments without properly vetting whether applicants have a legal basis to stay in the United States. Texas is also part of another lawsuit accusing the administration of overstepping its authority by allowing as many as 360,000 people a year from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela to enter the United States under its humanitarian parole authority. But the Biden administration said the new measures, including the app, have helped reduce unlawful immigration by more than 70% since Title 42 ended on May 11th. And the United States government stated that more than 79,000 people were admitted into the United States under the CBP One app from its January 12th launch through the end of April. And from May 12th to May 19th, the average of 1,070 people per day presented themselves at the ports of entry after securing an appointment on this CBP app. The administration has also made improvements in recent weeks. According to the Biden administration, the app can prioritize those who have been trying the longest now. And on Wednesday, the Department of Homeland Security officials told CBS News that the Biden administration is expanding the processing of asylum seekers along the U.S.-Mexico border by admitting nearly 40,000 migrants at official crossings each month. And starting this month in June, officials are going to allow more migrants waiting in Mexico to secure an appointment to enter the United States through the CBP One government phone app. And DHS officials said U.S. border officials will now distribute 1,250 appointments each day, which is a lot more than the 1,070 up until June 1st. And that's roughly going to be 38,750 appointments each month for asylum at the southern border between Mexico and the United States. And those appointments are going to go to migrants who are waiting in Mexico so they can present themselves at a port of entry for an opportunity to be allowed into the United States and request asylum. Previously, U.S. officials processed just 20,000 asylum seekers each month under the old CBP One system. In a statement, DHS said it would evaluate whether to expand port of entry processing even further into the future. Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.